Oh, geez. The title
Hello, my friends, and welcome back. We are still at E3 2014, and we have a very big game here. A very big game. Notice what I'm doing here.
Yeah.
Big.
Clever.
Very important pun. We have a big game for anybody that's into the music scene. And I am joined by my friend and colleague, Nick Accordino, who is the associate producer on BigFest. On the PS Vita. So thank you for joining us, by the way.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
And I guess before we start looking at some B-roll footage, do you want to give us like the elevator pitch on BigFest?
Sure. So BigFest is our free-to-play music festival, I'd say simulator, for the PlayStation Vita. So the idea is very low barriers to entry. Everyone can get into it. You're managing a festival. You're trying to become the best music promoter, the best festival promoter in the world, and at the same time discovering new unsigned bands that you've never heard of before.
Awesome. So as we start playing the B-roll footage here, would you want to tell us like what the moment-to-moment gameplay is like in BigFest?
Sure. So it kind of depends on what you're doing. Right now we're kind of looking at the very beginning of a festival. We're looking at fans that want to hear music. So you'll be picking bands to actually put in your posters. The game is actually given a poster structure level format. So every level will be a poster in which these bands play in sequential order.
I see.
And you'll be setting things up. You'll be making stands to kind of accommodate your fans, whatever they want. So some fans will say, oh, I'm hungry, oh, I'm thirsty, where's the bathroom?
Always complaining.
Always complaining.
Food, water,
why would they want these
needs.
things?
Come on.
But it's not just the fans. The bands are going to want things too. You'll be settling fights, you'll be finding people, you'll be upgrading things. So if you're kind of familiar with the Tycoon series and managing like groups of little guys.
Yeah, that's huge. We talked about that backstage, that for those that know the Tycoon series, this has some similarities to it. For people that like to micromanage and kind of like really create their own thing that's going on.
Absolutely.
I love the size of this very small concert right now.
Yeah.
But you said we're just getting started, right?
Just getting started. This is the very beginning. And you'll see in the top middle of the screen, there's a kind of a vibe meter. And that's what you want to keep as high as you can. Yeah.
I love that name.
The vibe meter,
the vibe meter.
And the vibe meter will go up and down depending on what's happening at your festival. Sometimes your posters will be themed, so you want to get the right bands to play at those posters, those venues.
Oh, okay.
So now, we're actually looking at someone else's concert. So your festival is persistent. So at any time, you can go into your friends' festivals as well and kind of mess with them or help them out. So this is Lola's concert. It's kind of modded out. She has a big crowd, but we're going to use a prank token right here and kind of scatter her fans.
Why would you do that to Lola?
Why wouldn't you
Look at all these people. People could be hurt. It's disaster, man.
I'm sure they'll come back.
If you were in that crowd, you would be freaking out right now.
I think they are freaking out a little bit. But here's another good look at what a nice modded out festival looks like. We've got a Ferris wheel, some nice attractions. Everybody's having a good time. But honestly, you're going to be able to also help people too. So you could help people build things. Kind of in that little asynchronous multiplayer kind of way. Your festival is always going to be there to add things to, even when the posters aren't happening.
Cool. So. Do you want to talk a little bit about the progression system at all? Like how people will be kind of moving, like upgrading over time? And
so you'll start with very, very basic things, very basic food stands, etc. You actually have a level, so you'll be gaining levels as you play the game, as you clear posters.
I'm already sold. And then, we can end the interview now.
So as you go up levels, you'll be able to add more and more songs to your posters and actually take on harder challenges. The team's thinking about boss posters right now, which might have a few special things happening. But just all sorts of things can happen at your festival, and it's your job to really kind of take care of all of your fans, all the bands, and to really just discover the new music. And that's actually something I wanted to talk about. So again, all of these all these bands are unsigned. So they come to us from a company called Jamendo. They're a big aggregator of unsigned bands from Europe. So we're going to have a huge selection of songs that you can actually bring into the game at any point.
Real songs by
these
real
are
bands.
real songs. You can look up these guys, and actually, when they're playing, you can kind of tap on their van to see who they are and what they've done.
Awesome.
But then from the band's perspective, they're getting their unsigned music in front of a whole new audience on the PlayStation Vita.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I said, free to play, so a huge audience potentially downloading this and checking it out. It's a win-win for both sides, and we're just really excited to bring it to people.
And you said that there's kind of a rotation element to the music as well. So
yeah, a little bit.
You're going to be exposed to it over time.
Yeah, so we're going to have a huge portion of Gemendo's library available for our, for our players, but it will be switching out on a regular basis, so new stuff will be coming in. And actually, talk a second about the poster system.
Please.
So at the beginning of the game, you're going to have posters that only feature a headline band. As you go through it and as you level up, you'll be able to add more and more people to your posters. The headline band is actually going to be really important because whoever you put in your headline position will be earning fame, and they'll be earning more and more fame the better that vibe meter is at the end of the stages. On the aggregate, so everybody playing BigFest, everybody putting bands in their top headline position are going to be giving those bands fame, and then those bands are actually going to be climbing up the in-game billboard charts so that when new players play, they'll immediately be able to see who the popular bands are, who's doing well, and which are the bands that they should be checking out. So
and these are again real bands that you're kind of seeing in not in real time per se, but it's like it's a system like a Billboard ranking.
Yep, absolutely.
Just so cool.
Yep.
Do you want to describe what we were seeing here? By the way, this is kind of you're laying down some tents.
Yes,
very important for any concert.
Right. So everything you do, everything you upgrade is actually going to increase kind of the number of people that visit your venue. So obviously having tents, having some place for people to camp is going to help that out. There's a monetary system. You can see the amount of dollars we have in the upper left-hand corner of the screen. Building stalls and people going and buying things is going to let you build more things. We can upgrade everything. So we actually have roadies that will be accomplishing tasks.
Perfect.
And the more you level up, the more you upgrade certain things, the more roadies you can have, and the more they can take on tasks at the same time. The more fame the bands get, so those popular bands, the more kind of diva-like they're going to get as well, so the more problems they'll have. So even if they're really popular and they bring in a huge crowd, you're going to have to manage what they're doing. So
I think I just saw bog standard toilets built.
Yes.
So that's clearly a very high-quality establishment.
Absolutely.
Right there, the bog standard.
And the fans will tell you what they think as well. So
now I suddenly don't want to go to this particular concert. I'm going to go back to Lolo's concert instead.
You can mod out your concert to be however you like. All
right, beautiful. So you mentioned it was a free-to-play game.
Free-to-play, yep.
What do you want to talk a little bit about why the team wanted to approach the free-to-play design and how that affects the development?
Sure. Well, I mean, with a game like this, with a game on the PlayStation Vita, we have a lot of I think bite-sized games, but we also have a device that has a ton of input options. We have lots of buttons, front and back touch, but we wanted something that was extremely accessible for a huge audience. So, I mean, have you ever met someone that doesn't like music? I can hand this to anyone, whether or not they've picked up a Vita before or not, and say, have a good time. You can almost purely use the touchscreen to navigate the game. So,
cool.
Honestly, it just made sense given the type of experience we're trying to give to people.
Yeah, absolutely. And what kind of, often you see free-to-play games that are very, I guess, as you say, bite-sized, and they're compact experiences. I mean, have you seen in your own play sessions and others, what kind of experience they're getting? Is this the kind of game you pick up and play? Is it the kind of game you can, just crash on the couch and play for a long time?
Oh, yeah, so you can, it's really kind of up to you. I kind of think of it as one of those games that, I can turn on for kind of 10, 15 minutes at a time, check my festival, maybe do a poster. Poster doesn't take that long. It's just as long as those songs take. And then, turn it off, turn it on, see who's messed with my festival, turn it back off. But, there is a level progression. Those posters are kind of stages. So if you want to sit there for hours and binge on it, you can. If you don't want to, if you just want to go in and see how things are and check things out, that's fine as well.
So if I want to upgrade my bog standard toilet, I can really just work at it. Make sure that they get the best toilet experience possible.
However you want to run it.
So do you want to talk just a little bit about what kind of music is actually available in the game? Does it cover a wide array of genres?
I think there's 30 different genres that are going to be represented.
Perfect.
Everything from reggae to country. There's house music. Anything you can imagine is pretty much going to be in here. And like I said, some of the posters are going to be themed, so you don't want to bring a country singer to a heavy rock metal concert, right? That's not going to do very well for your vibe meter.
Sure.
So,
makes sense.
Yeah, but that's kind of what we have going on.
Now, if you just as an associate producer, what do you feel like is the biggest element of this game, or the thing that draws you the most personally as a gamer?
Yeah, so for me, this is the title, and I've said this before, that I can hand to anybody and they can enjoy it. Some other games I've worked on have had some very core gamer experiences attached to them, and if you didn't have experience with things, you couldn't really do anything. But it's not too hard to explain to people. Oh, look, tap on this, to upgrade. You can listen to real new music, and the audio quality on the Vita is amazing. So
oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
So this is the kind of game that you should put a pair of headphones into.
Absolutely. Yep, that's what I would say as well. So.
And I like the art style too. I mean, it just seems like you guys made a game that's very approachable.
Yep.
Like it's colorful, it's fun. I mean, I'm assuming a wide range of ages that different gamers can play it.
Yeah, absolutely. Very, very, very family friendly. Despite that standard toilet that you might have seen.
We just got to the B-roll again with the prank.
Everyone likes to see crowds scatter. So
is there when you said that you can not only invade other people's festivals, and we saw this prank here, you said you can also help as well?
You can.
I mean, do you want to describe how that works?
Well, I can't get into it too much because it's still changing. But you can go in and help build things as well. If you see something broken in someone's festival, if you see something on fire, you can put it out. You can just help out in whatever way you want, because some of the things are pretty expensive to mod and to upgrade. So having someone come in and kind of lend a hand is definitely cool. So
awesome. Well, do you guys are talking about when BigFest is going to hit PS Vita?
BigFest hits PS Vita this year.
This year?
Yeah, this year. So the team's working really hard. Shout out to the team on the metal. They're in Sheffield in the UK.
Oh, nice. Oh, so it's a UK team.
Yes, it is. Coming to us through XDev in Europe, so our ski team. So they're awesome. This is their first title
You've enjoyed working with them,
as a team.
What you're saying.
Fantastic. So
they must be music fans, right?
They're huge. Well, obviously.
Well, I mean, they must. I mean, you never know. I mean, maybe they're like, we really, I guess we make a music game.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Well.
But they're big music fans.
Yep.
This looks like a great game for music fans, for fans of just going to concerts, going to festivals. You can play it for free on PS Vita this year.
There's no reason not to check it out.
Perfect line, perfect way to end. Nick, dude, thank you so much for joining us. BigFest is out this year on PS Vita, free to play. And I think next up we are going to be taking a look at some Devolver Digital games. So please stay with us and enjoy your E3 2014.
PlayStation